but in this system that Kenny Atkinson likes to run.
Okay.
So he will be a productive player if he leaves, but he will not continue his growth and ascent to the player that he could become, or that coming out of Virginia he looked like he could have become if he leaves the Brooklyn Nets.
So you want him to stay?
I would love for him to stay, but again, this is a team that's trying to build up young, cheap. He is potentially, he might not get more than $10 million this year in the offseason per year, but can the Brooklyn Nets really afford to give someone $10 million a season?
Depends who it is.
Why not? Who else do they have on the roster that's worth it?
They have a lot of money still tied to this roster. They have Alan Crabb for 19 years. 19 million. Sorry, his number just went down. He's going to be at 18 million next year. Timothy Mozgov again for another 2 years.
DeMarre Carroll. Yeah, I was going to say DeMarre Carroll.
DeMarre Carroll will most likely be traded in the offseason.
That's true.
He went from being DeMarre Carroll went from being like the lowest of his stock value ever. That's what you saw. Toronto traded a first and a second with DeMarre Carroll. Just to get
rid of him. Yeah.
Now, the Nets at the deadline, there were talks that teams were offering them a first-round pick for DeMarre Carroll. And in the offseason, I would not be surprised, especially at the draft.
Draft day, he's probably gone.
DeMarre Carroll, there's no way DeMarre Carroll dresses with the Nets next season. Not in the slightest. No shot.
I would say after the lottery, he's gone. Like, after the night of the lottery.
Oh, go ahead.
No, because depending on where some of these teams fall, especially in the lottery, that's basically, and I'm going to speak on terms for the Knicks. I do not want DeMarre Carroll because I do want them to start fresh on account of Hornacek's not going to be the coach next season. I think anyone with a conscience can probably figure that out.
Who's the coach to be, though?
Who do I want the coach to be? I personally think it's going to come down to three people. It's going to come down to Mark Jackson,
yes,
Doc Rivers, and David Blatt.
David Blatt.
Yeah.
It's blast from the past.
Stay away from Doc Rivers. Stay away from
I agree, and I'm going to... Honestly, he's going to want way too much power.
And he's going to bring his son with him.
That's what I said!
And I do not want that.
Yeah, because Dolan doesn't want to give up any power. He basically did the same thing with Phil. But honestly, I have a feeling it's going to be Mark Jackson, but a name that I feel like you should look out for is Jerry Stackhouse.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Jerry Stackhouse, I actually got to see him coach. He is currently the head coach of Raptors 905, the Toronto Raptors G League team. Mm-hmm. He actually led them to a title last year. Like in last year's D League season, when it was the final year of the D League, he led them to a title.
And a lot of the
did very well there.
And a lot of the current Raptors that are on the current roster right now that are basically gearing up for the playoffs was with Stackhouse at Raptors 905.
I believe there's at least 6 different people who suited up this year and played meaningful minutes for the Raptors who have played for Stackhouse at some point in Raptors 905. But that's interesting. I think the Knicks...
I personally think they're going to go Mark Jackson, but I'm surprised that Fizdale's name has not been mentioned to them.
I don't know why Fizdale's name hasn't been mentioned.
Has his name been mentioned at all? I haven't heard anything about him. Honestly. You know where he could fit, though? The Lakers.
No.
Honestly.
I mean, yes, I did hear that, but then I immediately read the only reason that they would fire Luke Walton is they believed he was absolutely taking the team. Now, right before we get back to March Madness, because we went on this beautiful tangent, I just want to mention something that I was really thinking a lot about on Friday night. We haven't heard anything from LeVar Ball.
Isn't it nice?
2 months.
It's great.
He lived like a king out there.
I legitimately thought about this for about 25 minutes on Friday night. Just sitting in my bed thinking about this, and I was like, wow.
It's been a while.
This is...
It has been a while.
Well, it also helped. His son was hurt for a little bit, and then he started up his league, and then he's able to just run with that.
And isn't Lonzo doing okay?
He's doing okay, but like I said, he was also hurt at one point, so he had nothing to talk about.
Look at this. Lonzo's... He's not... I wouldn't say starting to shed, but he's not playing bad. It's weird that the moment LeVar shuts up, Lonzo plays better.
I want to find out what his stats are right now. I'm actually really curious.
Lonzo looks a little more comfortable.
I say Lonzo, he's like kind of like a little baby Rondo right now in the sense of the shot is broke.
I see that.
He stacking up assists and stacking up rebounds. If Lonzo Ball gets a jump shot, he's going to be a star.
The difference between Rondo and Lonzo, especially...
is the first letter?
No pun intended. No. Especially in their rookie years. Rondo, remember, was a draft day trade. So Rondo, in only his second year, won an NBA title point guarding the Boston Celtics.
He has 10 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 7.2 assists per game, just under 2 steals per game.
Yeah, so
that's pretty good. That's honestly solid.
He's having a solid year, but
that's really solid.
What I want to mention is the fact that while Rondo already went his first year, horrible team. Second year, that's when they already had the big three, and that's when he won an NBA championship. But
he had really good players around him.
His second year, yes, but the difference between Rondo and Lonzo in their rookie years, Lonzo is way more athletic.
Yeah,
way more athletic.
I see that.
Rondo has
the jump shot is a little similar.
Rondo, I think, has dunked in the NBA maybe like 4 or 5 times. And Rondo is also 6 feet.
It's true.
Lonzo is 6'5". He's dunking. Lonzo is very athletically gifted.
I'm only comparing them style-wise.
He just has the ugliest shot I've ever seen.
Nah, it's funny.
It works.
Besides for Sean Marion's.
He said baby, and it's kind of like his shot looks like it's like a baby calf trying to walk for the first time.
I've never seen a baby calf walk for the first time. I don't know why you have.
You've never seen that?
Don't knock it till you try it.
You better go on.
No, I'm not going to
YouTube right now.
I'm not going to knock it. I'm not going to knock it. But I'm just like, why? What would possess you to do that?
Do you understand where he's coming from? By the way,
I understand exactly where he's coming from.
Honestly,
it's just very weird.
To be completely honest with you, I don't think his shot's going to change.
Lonzo?
Because no. I don't really think his shot's going to change. And if it does change, it's going to change very slightly. But we're going to see it different.
This is not going to be a Markelle Fultz where he's going to be using AI, in his basement trying to fix his shot.
Where has he been?
Markelle Fultz, sitting on his bed collecting the largest rookie contract.
If you guys were the 76ers and you could do the draft all over again, would you pick Jason Tatum or Donovan Mitchell?
Ooh.
The 76ers?
Yes. At that point, Tatum.
No. Even at this point, the 76ers, because don't forget, you have to look at how he would fit with the specific team. You have Ben Simmons at the point. Mm-hmm. You have Embiid at center.
JJ Redick.
No, well, this was before free agency, so JJ Redick might not have signed. But you have Dario Saric at power forward. You have T.J. McConnell at the shooting guard, essentially, or Robert Covington, if you want to put him in at the shooting guard, and you could put Jason Tatum at small forward. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And to think, Boston had the first overall pick.
Yeah, but they got
because of the Nets.
KJ just loves this. Every time we bring it up, he just loves it.
Think about it like this: they had the first overall pick, traded back, got more assets for this year, and still got Tatum at 3.
Danny Ainge is a genius.
It
just comes down to that.
He's very good. Now, we're 23 minutes into it. Getting back to our original point. Getting back to the original point: March Madness and all this craziness, massive craziness. Right now, the Final Four: number 1 Kansas, number 1 Villanova, 3 Michigan, 11 Loyola Chicago.
Exactly what we predicted.
Exactly what some people predicted. 500 out of, I believe, 17,900,000 on ESPN's Tournament Challenge predicted this Final Four. 500 people.
I don't even think...
Of those final 500, I'm going to guess 475 were people who were picking out of a hat. 25 were people who were legitimately like, I trust this.
Let's be honest. There's no strategy at all.
Actually,
would you even be...
there is a strategy to March Madness.
I really don't believe it. I'm sorry.
You're not going to like it, but there is a legitimate strategy to March Madness.
What is it, numbers?
No.
What is it?
Go mad?
No. Ask your girlfriend, wife, or boyfriend, and say, look at the team names. What do you like better? And people do that, and I've seen friends do it.
I'm not going to lie.
And their brackets come out better. Because they ask their girlfriend or their boyfriend or their mother, their grandfather, someone, they're like, oh, Wildcats, I like them better. I like their mascot. Or they've got nice colors. That's how March works. You don't pick on what your gut says. Because when your gut says, my gut said Loyola's winning the first game, that's it. They're losing to Tennessee. My gut said Tennessee was at least an Elite 8 team. Not anymore. My gut said UNC is going to be, Final Four team.
In the Final Four.
My gut said Virginia, before the break, they were a national title team. My gut said UMBC. What?
Who are they?
Is that what is that like the name of like an acronym for the restaurant you're going to go eat dinner at?
It sounds like
you're hungry. It sounds, look, your gut says one thing, but the real word says, nah. That's why no one has ever won Warren Buffett's $1 billion bracket challenge. It has never, ever happened. All right? It is absolutely
I like how we were just
happened.
talking about Fultz.
Markelle Fultz
is available
to play tonight, courtesy of
The 76ers Twitter
Well,
account.
actually, at least for us, our knowledge is courtesy of Cameron Bonagura with the first take here.
Who
I
are
like
the
how he's
Sixers
just
playing?
talking about that.
Who are the Sixers playing, and where are they going to put him?
I has no idea.
Is he going to come off the bench?
Markelle Fultz?
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
He has
Yeah.
to. He has to.
You can't play. You can't
You can't
start
just
him.
start him right away. Yeah.
We don't know what he's doing in practice. Let's be honest.
Even
They're
then,
at home
you
against
still
the
can't,
Nuggets.
You can't just throw him out there.
Wait, so they're playing the Nuggets?
Yeah, at home.
Oh boy, that's a win for the Sixers.
That is a win for the Sixers, most likely. But before we move on, let's just break down this Final Four. Loyola Chicago is only the fourth 11th seed ever to make the Final Four. Well, most recent one was 2011 VCU. Before that, you had the 2006 Cinderella George Mason, and the 1986 LSU. LSU, that was the first year after they made the new bracket set, and LSU goes an 11th seed. And you know what the funny thing is?
What's that?
Not one of these three teams moved on to the national title game. So is history against the Ramblers, or are they going to finally get over that hump?
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Loyola Chicago is basically turning into this team that everybody loves now. Like, do you remember when the Cubs made the World Series? Everybody and their mother was picking the Cubs to
Except
win.
me.
It's the same. Except you.
Kyle. Yeah, except
I told
for
you guys
Kyle.
like
yes,
2
he
weeks
said
ago.
this.
Look,
He did say this. I remember
No, but like
this.
they're
He's the
becoming
devil, it's fine. We'll talk about that later.
they're becoming like the lovable team to like root for. Obviously, the numbers are against them, but who are they
Very
playing?
much so. They're playing Michigan.
They're playing Michigan. My head says Michigan. Honestly,
My head, my heart, my gut, my feet, my knee hurts when it's about to rain. My other knee says Michigan. Like it's
That means you should probably pick Loyola. Just because of the way that this has gone so far. I would
Let me
pick
ask
them.
my girlfriend what she
But I am
thinks.
looking for Michigan.
Do
What do you
the
like better?
Ramblers or Wolverines?
What do you like better? What is it? Maize and yellow
Maize.
or a Rambler?
No, it's maize and blue. Maize is yellow.
I'm just going to ask, and if she answers, I'll let you know.
Maize and blue, or slightly different yellow and red.
Hold on.
Like that's or colors, or you can go. Do you like the name Ramblers or Wolverines? That's just what it is.
What would you like better? A Wolverine
Now Villanova, Kansas.
or
That's
a Rambler?
Villanova, Kansas is just going to be
Whatever she says goes, by the way.
whatever. Villanova, Kansas is definitely
I'm going to say Kansas.
really.
I'm going to say Kansas. I think technically, this isn't an upset, but if Kansas, because Villanova is probably the favorite, honestly.
Villanova is definitely the favorite.
I
Honestly,
say after the Duke game, Kansas has a little bit of a chip on their shoulder because
Momentum.
they took down Duke, which is kind of the big name, but at the same time, they were the number
Kansas
one.
can't
But
when Duke loses, America wins.
Yeah.
No, but when you're a number one seed,
Taking down a
you
number
don't
two.
have a chip on your shoulder.
No,
but you
it's
kind
the
of
name
do.
right
No.
that it was. Where if you take down the Duke, the almighty Coach K, I feel like
No.
Kansas is like, okay, we have this now. This is our time. This is our game to lose almost. Like,
No, Kansas can come into this saying, "Yeah, we just had a hot game versus Duke," but they can't go. We have a chip on our shoulder. You were the higher seed. I don't care. You're the higher seed. You can't come into the game with a chip on your shoulder.
But you can't go into that game, especially Duke, Kansas, expecting Duke to lose.
No.
That's what he's trying to say. He's trying to say, like,
I had
yes,
Duke
they
winning
are
that
the
game,
lower
yeah.
seed, but Duke is like,
I still don't buy into it. When you're the higher seed, you are expected to win, and whether you're actually on the team or you're just a better.
well,
really
let me ask you personally.
Kansas should not go into this next game versus Villanova going, "Yeah, we have a chip on our shoulder." Now, if they want to go on,
It was a gritty win.
they can't go on the chip on their shoulder from the previous game. Now, if they want to go in and say, yes, we're both number one seeds, but Villanova won the national title 2 years ago, and everyone has them as a far superior team, now they can say we have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder because people are claiming Villanova is better. But they cannot come into the game with a chip on their shoulder saying, yeah, everyone said we were worse than Duke. When you're a 1 seed playing a 2 seed, or you're a 1 seed playing I don't care what seed, when you're a 1 and you're playing a lower seed, you cannot go into that game and come out of that game with a chip on your shoulder.
Honestly speaking, I'm being totally serious now. Disregard the fact that you like North Carolina, okay? Who was the better team, in your opinion, Duke or Kansas?
before that game was played.
My love for UNC does not cloud my judgment when it comes to Duke.
Sometimes I feel like it does.
No, I will be the first to tell you that Duke is one of